Amy Andrew. Let's get to some headlines now and begin with the Vanguard newspaper, where it says the lead headline here on the Vanguard says hardship, Labour kicks as 20 states deny workers wage award. Labour kicks as 20 states deny workers wage award. Local government autonomy. Supreme Court reserves judgment on federal government's suit against 36 governors. Minimum wage. We will pay what we can afford. Tinubu. Naira down to 1,500 naira to $1 in the parallel market. All of those headlines you would find on the Vanguard. This one is even very much interesting. Motorcycles importation rises 205% to 73.59 billion naira. So we're still importing plenty of motorcycles. Where are we using them? I mean, because we know we have restrictions and bans in several states in the country. So, well, some of the headlines you find on the Vanguard. If you want to get details, then you check out all of the details from that newspaper. Now we move on to the Punch, and quickly the lead headline here says Dangote Refinery plans 5.3 billion liters petrol storage. Dangote Refinery plans 5.3 billion liters petrol storage. This is a for president and governors. You also see this. It says illegal refineries by government efforts. And this one says 62,000 naira minimum wage. Labour faults politicians' jumbo pay. National Assembly gets bill after Salah. Tinubu gets bill proposing return to regional government Friday. And NNPC withdraws suit against ExxonMobil Seplat $1.28 billion deal. All of these you find on the Punch newspaper. Buyers in last-minute rush for Salah Rams lament exorbitant cost. I was going to say that the cost of a ram now, going to hundreds for not even a very big one. You will be spending 100 and something thousand naira. Wow! At the end of the day, to all our Muslim brothers, we must eat ram. Let's get on to the phone lines and take your contributions. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. And just add, if you can't afford the money for RAM, please do what you can. All right, we all can see what the economy is like. Some of us, even though we want to come to your house and eat the RAM, we would understand, because we all can see what the situation is in the country. On Facebook, we are streaming live at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, so please do well to join us there. You can watch the Morning Crossfire from wherever you are in the world, and every of our contents up there for different programs, different times of the day. So wherever you are, there's no excuse. Watch your shows on Nigeria Info on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. That's the handle. Don't forget to click on the share button and drop your comment. We'll be taking some of your messages shortly, but first let's start with the phone lines. Promise from Gokana is on the line. Promise, straight to the point, short and simple. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Go ahead.
Yes, Senator Banu Abe affirmed his position to continue support the government of President Asiwaju Tinubu, and at the same time working with the Minister of FCT, the former governor of Rivers State. In his speech, what I heard from him is that the decision will be for the best interest of Rivers State, and that he has not come to join either the divide of the crisis in the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State, but rather to continue to preach peace so that Rivers State and these people can benefit from the government they have worked for and support. So I want to support his decision. Me and my family support the decision to ensure that Rivers State tap from the resources of this country. Gone are those days when politicians, leaders continue to fight because of their personal interest. So I love a man of peace who can always bring peace after election and support the governance of the day. Thank you.
All right, Promise, thank you very much. Yeah, we go to a little one now. Ernest, good morning.
Morning, Efiyemi. How are you this morning?
Very fine, thank you. Thank God it's Friday.
So, I want to commend the peaceful disposition of our honorable governor of the state, Similaye Fubara. I want to try to use him as a tool to bless the people of Rivers State. And I know that whatever the minimum wage issue that is going to do well as regards to Rivers State civil servants and other people in the state. With regards to our president's comment that they are going to pay what they can afford, you can see that it has nothing to civil servant matter. They are not beginning to say they will pay what they can afford. But when it gets to politicians' jumbo pay, you will not hear anything that they cannot pay what they cannot, they cannot get. But now, when it gets to civil servants, they will begin to crack their brain. But watching. Our governor, keep hope alive. We are behind. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, Ernest, thank you. Abidoye from Abua, let's hear you. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Abinoye.
Yes, Supreme Court reserved judgment. Local government autonomy. I just want to look at, some of the issues from the perspective point. I think that that suit or that matter, I think it's a good one. If, peradventure, it goes into, the right side of the local government, I think it will do well to help the development of the local government. Because most times, these chairmen, they complain of paucity of funds. And so if actually these monies come right from the federal government, it will help. Another one is that it will reduce the mightiness of these governors, because I think that governors forum is a monster, because most times they are there to antagonize the federal government. You can imagine 62,000 naira minimum wage, and governors are saying that it's not sustainable. I do not know whether they were hired to do that, but I think they are working against NLC. How can you expect that the working force of government should suffer? And the local government, the state governors have been in that attitude. I think it will help to check them, because after all, they amass wealth, take all the land. In the end, it's vanity. Thank you.
All right, Abinoye, thank you. Mufasa from NTA Road. Let's hear you. Good morning.
Hi, Andrew. Good morning.
Yep, good morning.
Yes, quick one. I want to wholeheartedly condemn the act in the Rivers State University man of war that molested students. I think the school management should be held responsible in that regard, because I know that we used to have similar incidents way back in the University of Port Harcourt.
Exactly.
Here you see a fellow student, just because you are a man of war, you begin to raise terror on other students. I do not know why students will begin to act in such a manner. So for me, this matter should not be swept under the carpet, because these are people that we refer to as the leaders of tomorrow. Some of them may eventually find themselves into, the Nigerian police or the army, and you begin to see this, same character trait, coming to manifestation at the end of it. So these students should be, disciplined, so that they know that because you are man of war doesn't mean that, you have become a demigod before your fellow students. And lastly, Andrew, I want to commend the group that came out to refute the claim of nepotism against the Roma board. If you could remember yesterday, I said something that it is proper to equally hear from the other side when people are making certain, bogus, allegations against somebody that I know that would not want to engage in such, unprofessional conduct. So I think now that the record has been set straight, we should always try to get our facts correctly before coming out to the public, to make fictitious claim against individuals. It is very, very inappropriate.
All right, Mufasa, thank you very much. Bright is calling from Rumodumaya. Bright, good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yep.
Happy Friday.
Yep, go on.
President Tinubu said he can pay what he can afford. I think it's a good one. My concern to Labour is that they should also look into it. Now they are talking about federal government, Tinubu and others should pay what they have agreed, maybe what they, I think, have in mind. How about the state governors? Should they be able to pay? How many of them pay 30,000 minimum wage? I think the concern is state government, not even federal. And I also want to talk about the state government of Rivers State. Those states have started paying 70,000. Why not other states follow suit by paying, like Rivers State, to pay up to 70,000? Again, concerning the man-no war, when we talk about SARS and police, these are just ordinary man-no war. See what they are asking to their own fellow students, not an outsider. Before they can ask that means if you employ them as maybe SARS or police or army, meaning that they will kill people. These are the things we are talking about. Charity begins at school. From their school, they have started drilling their fellow students. It's a very bad thing. Thank you. Worship Bright.
All right, Bright. Thank you very much. Let's get on to our next caller. Good news from our three. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother, man.
Good news. Go on.
Thank you. Let me talk about the issue of we'll pay what we have. Yes, it is good that they come out open to say they will pay what they have. After all, they have agreed at least 100% agreement. Even if, since cost of debt Nigeria has gone to more than 300% agreement, and the dollar one time was alleged that they spent $1 billion to bring it down, and today it's ramping up. But two, governors who said that they cannot pay, for me, they lack patriotism. They lack patriotism. I think instead of taking Nigeria back to the old way of government, according to the brief, the draft that was sent to the president, the bill draft, I think the president should call the governors. They should sit in a round table, talk how to bring Nigeria economy back to the way it used to be. Well, we have to have Michelins, the new clients, mention those companies, the Ajakuta Steel that employ thousands of people. How people will get jobs. You go to the Kaduna and Kano where I have the textile companies that have employed more. They should take us to those days, not changing. They've changed national anthem, and it changes. I don't know what they're thinking, but I think that those things does not keep food on the table. And you talk about the issue of the ESP Ma'owo. I think it's high time they dissolve Ma'owo in schools. Finally, Abe said the support for Wike is to bring Nigeria growth, native life growth, not to bring it down. I think he has his choice, and we have the ways of politics, which I used to like. We are watching how River State is.
Good morning.
And today you are coming out again to support the essay that all the protests against him is nepotism. I want to ask the group, are they saying that all the people are lamenting in regards to West refugees are in vain? Have they been to Igbo? Have they been to Igruta? Have they been to Rupoko? Go and check if you will not see the tea everywhere. And they are coming here to tell us it's nepotism. Yesterday, the essay was either with you yesterday or who else. He was on air yesterday and he was like, it cannot be a magic. And he accused the council chairman of being responsible to all the West refugees cut across the LOGA. And I began to ask, what about the $500 million raised in that ministry every month? What are they using it to do? Now he has realized it cannot be a magic to ensure that the state is neat. But I thought it was a magic before they squandered the previous.
All right, Ucheken, let's go over to D-Line.
You better you don't criticize it.
Frank, good morning. And then we have George waiting in Buguma. Yes, Frank, quickly, let's hear you.
Yeah. Let me react to the statement made by GJ coordinator, Mr. Origi, saying that Enrique has done well. Yes, that is true. The what Olamewa has said, Olamewa for Nahoda East, and for well. If you go to Nahoda East today, Ekpena Road is being done by Mason Wike. If you go to Nahoda East today, you see Odemeni Road done by Mason Wike. Iwogo Road. What are we talking about? If you go to Nahoda East today, you also see a road done by Wike. What do they call this community? Onyemudi Road. So if we can perform well in the entire this local government council, I don't know why Unamewa will say that Enrique has done nothing. If you go to Western Ahuda County High School, you see a lot of buildings there built by Nelson Wike to an addition of almost Ahuda Road. Then Western Ahuda County High School, if you go there, you will see what Wike has done. What of the university that Wike brought to Ahuda? So, in the conclusion, we can perform well.
All right, Frank, thank you very much. George is in Buguma quickly, and that's our last caller.
Yes, Andrew.
George, let's hear you.
Yes, Andrew, good morning.
Good morning.
I want to use this video to call on the president to really know that you can't change a man in his absence. I think he has to consult the NLC and know the true position of what is highly obtainable for them. You understand? Let the both parties interface and know that this is what, at the end of the day, they actually agreed upon, not by imposing what you would say. You are not imposing fees for National Assembly. They take what rights to them. You don't impose fees for most of these politicians. Those fees on their girlfriends and even the 200 and something million vehicles. I think these are well proposed bills before those cars was brought to this National Assembly members. So you just impose fees.
All right, George.
You call them and let both parties agree. Let it be a transfer between the both of them that this is a peaceful resolution at the end of the day.
Okay,
just why waiting away in their duty? I think it is very worrisome. The law and that they're bringing back to a task. Now they cannot.
George, you very much. We have to wrap up with messages from Facebook Live. Those of us who are watching online, lucky as he has said that his support for the FTB is not to cause or support crisis. Skillful Period says Peter Obi to EFCC focus on budget padding, undisclosed subsidy payment, not Bobrisky. I agree with Peter Obi. Thank God the ability says even if they give local government full autonomy, nothing will change. Majority of them are vying for. Okay, nothing will change. Blessed Ola says MOHA Simplified Group saying something about the local government has been taken over by Simplified Movement. Not only MOHA, the entire River State is simplified. Bekel Menegbo says Dangote is telling those hoping for price of petrol to crash to brace up. Raymond Eze says bullying and intimidation by Manowo students are what we faced those days in schools. I mean, at University of Port Harcourt, it was something. Then you want to even enter bus at the park in Abuja Park. You want to come out that park close to Mama Abuja Mandela area now. We know what it used to be now. Now people that are schooling there, it's fun for them. Then, just to, because they say stay in line, Manowo will do what is not good. The students that were members of the Manowo. It's not like the Manowo itself is a bad thing. It's not. But for whatever reason, I don't know why the individuals, some of them, why they act how they act, and put up some rascal behaviors just because they now wear a uniform or are giving a lodge or a quarter. The increase for cost of living in Nigeria is really becoming unbearable. Can't government do something to stop all of these sufferings? I wish I had the answer. Good morning.